Following the gruesome incident at the RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, the subsequent aggression against protesting students on the eve of Independence Day, the IMA, the Indian Medical Association, has declared a 24-hour strike starting at 6 a.m. on August 17th. This action is part of the ongoing protest by doctors demanding justice for the victim in Kolkata. The IMA has said that the strikes will start 6 a.m. on Saturday and that will continue till 6 a.m. on Sunday. That is a major hit for the patients in the country, but a major step being taken by the medical fraternity to safeguard the safety of women and all involved as they contribute towards the services of the country but are not being ensured their safety throughout while they're on duty. Viewers, we have Gopi live joining us from New Delhi. Gopi, could you tell us what this decision by the IMA means for the medical fraternity and how is that likely to impact patients in the country?
Well, in fact, to put things in perspective, yesterday there was a meeting of all the resident doctors association on the eve of 15th August. They did not decide to protest yesterday as it was 15th August, but there were meetings, recurring meetings yesterday where they have decided that the OPD services, regular OPD services as well as the electrocutive surgeries won't happen from Saturday 6 a.m. to Sunday 6 a.m. This is the decision which was taken by the Indian Medical Association. While today from 9 a.m. protests are going to continue at 7 different colleges and hospitals in New Delhi, while there will be another meeting happening at 1:45 at Nirman Bhavan today, where the further course of action will be decided, while in the evening today at around 6 p.m. a huge massive candle march would be organized, where even the nurse union, in fact nurse union is going to join along with the IMA, FORDA as well as FIMA. So that will be a massive candle march happening at the India Gate at 6 p.m. today. This is what is decided, while the future course of action is obviously revolving around the Central Protection Act, which the IMA and the other associations are demanding. Back to you.
Thank you, Gopi, for the updates we'll be tracking. Now, the OPD services on Saturday and Sunday following the IMA strike is going to impact not only the patients but also put up a major step as the medical fraternity steps up to safeguard the safety of the women doctors and the trainee so that no such cases are repeated yet again.
A day after an angry mob marched into RG Kar Hospital and vandalized it, 12 people have been detained over this hooliganism. While the CBI team is investigating the rape and murder of the trainee doctor, the newly appointed principal of the hospital, Dr. Sureta Paul, was garroted by the nurses. She said that she too is seeking justice for the 31-year-old. A political slugfest has started on this, with West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee alleging BJP's hands behind the hooliganism at the RG Kar Hospital.
আমার কাছে 3টে ভিডিও আছে, আমি দেখেছি কালকে পুলিশকে যেভাবে আক্রমণ করা হয়েছে। আমাদের একজন ডিসি যিনি নিরাপত্তার জন্য ওখানে ছিলেন, আমার দুজন ওসিও ছিলেন, 1 ঘন্টা তাকে খুঁজে পাওয়া যায়নি। আনকনসাস অবস্থায় তাকে উদ্ধার করা হয়, তখন তার মাথা ফেটে মানে চুরচুর করে রক্ত পড়ছে। তাকে আমি সঙ্গে সঙ্গে রাত 3টে আমি পুলিশকে বলি ওকে অ্যাপেলেতে নিয়ে যাওয়ার জন্য।
Union Minister Chirag Paswan condemned the incident, calling it shameful.
एक तो ऐसी शर्मनाक निंदनीय घटना वहाँ पर घटी, उसके बाद जिस तरीके से वहाँ पर आज की तारीख में एक आगजनी जैसा माहौल बनाया जा रहा है और मुझे नहीं पता कि इसके पीछे कौन है। कल जिस तरीके से घटना स्थल पर देर रात हज़ारों की संख्या में असामाजिक तत्व गए, उन्होंने तोड़फोड़ की, क्या ये किसी साजिश के तहत था? किसी एविडेंस को मिटाने के लिए था? किसी को बचाने के लिए था? किसी को फंसाने के लिए था?
While BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla has called out the West Bengal CM for shielding culprits.
ममता बनर्जी जी, आपको हो क्या गया है? इस्तीफा देने के बदले, अपनी नैतिक जिम्मेदारी उठाने के बदले, आप जिस प्रकार से हेल्थ मिनिस्टर और होम मिनिस्टर के रूप में फेल हुई है, कल रात को जिस प्रकार से डॉक्टर्स की, महिलाओं की पिटाई हुई है, एक शांतिपूर्वक प्रदर्शन पर हमला हुआ है, आरजी कर मेडिकल हॉस्पिटल जहां पर यह बलात्कार हुआ, जहां पर यह जघन्य अपराध हुआ, जहां पर मर्डर हुआ, वहां पर घुसकर आपके राज्य प्रायोजित गुंडों ने तोड़फोड़ की है, उसके लिए जिम्मेदारी उठाने के बदले अब आप बाम और राम, प्रभु श्री राम के नाम को घसीट रही हैं।
Protests are taking place across the nation. Governor Ananda Bose met with the protesting doctors and assured them of justice.
Come here to listen to you personally. I am with you. We will fight it out. We will win. We shall overcome. We will not allow these ghastly things to be done about our sisters anymore in the state. We are all with you. Our eyes and ears are open. We will fight it out everywhere to see that justice is given to the youngsters.
Doctors' bodies have announced nationwide withdrawal of OPD services on Saturday and Sunday. The chorus for justice grows louder. Will Abhaya get justice?
We have a breaking coming in from Maharashtra. The Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar stated that he is up to his party to decide if his son Jay Pawar will run for the Baramati Assembly constituency. Ajit Pawar, the NCP chief who has represented the Pune district constituency for several terms, also expressed that he is not interested.
ठीक आहे, देऊया. शेवटी काही लोकशाही आहे. मला तर फार काही त्याच्यामध्ये रस नाही आहे, कारण मी 7-8 निवडणुका केलेल्या आहेत. त्याच्या संदर्भामध्ये जर आमच्या जनतेचा तसा कल असेल कार्यकर्त्यांचा, तर पार्लमेंटरी बोर्डामध्ये जरूर तोही विचार केला जाईल. पार्लमेंटरी बोर्ड आणि त्या भागातले कार्यकर्ते जे काही मागणी करतील ते करायला आम्ही तयार आहोत.
Viewers, we have Satya Prakash joining us live from Mumbai. Satya Prakash, could you tell us what this political decision means, if they plan to step down or step back rather and put the onus on the party for making this decision?
देखिए, कल डिप्टी सीएम और जो एनसीपी अजीत पवार गुट के हैं, अजीत पवार ने कल जिस तरह से बयान दिया, चौंकाने वाला बयान था और कहीं कहीं बहुत बड़ा फैसला है, क्योंकि जिस तरह से महाराष्ट्र में विधानसभा चुनाव की तैयारियां चल रही है और खुद अजीत पवार महाराष्ट्र के अलग अलग जगहों में जा रहे हैं, चुनाव प्रचार के पूरी तरह से रणनीति बना रहे हैं। लेकिन उन्होंने कहा कि अभी मेरा चुनाव लड़ना कोई इच्छा नहीं, क्योंकि मैंने 7 से 8 बार चुनाव लड़ चुका है, अब हमारी भी इच्छा नहीं कि मैं चुनाव लड़ूं। तो कहेंगे चौंकाने वाला बयान है कि अजीत पवार हो सकता है कि आने वाले विधानसभा चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे। उन्होंने इच्छा जाहिर की है, लेकिन हालांकि अब जो एनसीपी की जो कोर कमेटी की मीटिंग होगी उसमें डिसीजन लिया जाएगा कि अजीत पवार चुनाव लड़ेंगे कि नहीं लड़ेंगे, इस पर डिसीजन होगा। लेकिन अजीत पवार ने साफ कर दिया कि अब मेरी इच्छा नहीं है चुनाव लड़ने की, विधानसभा चुनाव के लिए। फिलहाल कहेंगे एक साफ तौर से देखा जा रहा है कि अजीत पवार के लड़का है, उनको कहेंगे आगे करने की कोशिश किया जा रहा है। हो सकता है कि जिस सीट पर अजीत पवार चुनाव लड़ते थे उस सीट पर अजीत पवार के लड़का चुनाव में लड़े। फिलहाल कहीं कहीं महाराष्ट्र में जिस तरह से उन्होंने बयान दिया उसके बाद राजनीति शुरू हो चुकी है। एनसीपी के साथ साथ जितने भी पार्टियां हैं उनका कहना है कि अजित पवार बहुत जल्दी डिसीजन लिए हैं, अभी उनको चुनाव लड़ना चाहिए। फिलहाल अब देखना है कि जो एनसीपी की जो अजित पवार के गुट की कोर कमेटी की मीटिंग में क्या डिसीजन लिया जाएगा। जी
Thank you, Satya Prakash, for these major developments coming in from Maharashtra. Breaking in, US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is set to host his Indian counterpart, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, at the Pentagon on August 23rd. During the meet, the two leaders are expected to discuss a wide range of bilateral and regional issues, as well as ways to strengthen ties between the world's two largest democracies.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola, India's best 5G smartphone brand.
Father of Agni missiles, Dr. Ram Narayan Agarwal, has passed away. Due to age-related illnesses, the Defense Research and Development Organization and the scientific communities across India have expressed deep condolences for his passing. As the first program director of the Agni missile program, he was known for his innovative approach and technical expertise, which significantly advanced India's missile technology. He was awarded the Padma Shri in 1990 and the Padma Bhushan in 2000, India's third highest civilian honor. YouTuber and social media influencer Dhruv Rathi was at the center of a massive storm after naming the RG Kar rape and murder victim in his latest post. The influencer earlier faced trolling for taking down a post on X over the RG Kar incident. Meanwhile, the CBI probe into the gruesome rape and murder gathered steam as the central sleuths quizzed the doctor who conducted the post-mortem on the victim, while also 2 department heads and 2 resident doctors at the hospital. Watch this report for more.
YouTuber and social media influencer Dhruv Rathi came under fire over his latest post on X. While putting down his concerns over the lack of women's safety in Bengal, in light of the horrific rape and murder of a junior lady doctor at Kolkata's RG Kar Hospital, Dhruv named the victim. The influencer earlier took down a post over the RG Kar incident, with many questioning if he was scared of the Mamata Banerjee government in Bengal. Meanwhile, the CBI probe into the barbaric rape and murder kicked into gear on Thursday after the team quizzed the doctor who performed the post-mortem on the RG Kar victim. The CBI team also questioned 2 department heads and 2 resident doctors at the hospital for leads in the case. Meanwhile, citing the vandalism on the RG Kar campus past midnight on Wednesday, Bengal's leader of the opposition, Suvendu Adhikari, wrote to the Union Home Secretary and CBI Director seeking the deployment of central forces outside the hospital. Aam Aadmi Party Rajya Sabha MP Swati Maliwal also wrote to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee and questioned her government's alleged attempt to cover up the incident and giving a reward posting to the former principal of the hospital. Meanwhile, the echoes of justice in the RG Kar case resonated across the globe, with protests held in New York and Amsterdam. While Dhruv's concerns over the RG Kar incident is well received, the YouTuber should consider posting an apology for naming the victim.
The World Health Organization has raised alarms globally by declaring Mpox a public health emergency of international concern, that too. This significant development follows a surge in cases in the Democratic Republic of Congo and growing fears of the virus's potential to spread worldwide.
The World Health Organization has classified Mpox as a global health emergency. This decision comes in response to increasing cases in the Democratic Republic of Congo and the potential for worldwide spread.
Its detection in neighboring countries that had not previously reported Mpox and the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. In addition to other outbreaks of other clades of Mpox in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives.
Listen in to the response from UN.
And you will have seen the announcement made by the World Health Organization yesterday, in which it determined that the surge of Mpox in the Democratic Republic of the Congo and a growing number of countries in Africa constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. WHO is warning also about the potential of this Mpox virus to spread further across countries in Africa and possibly outside the continent. To allow for an immediate scale-up, WHO has released $1.45 million from the WHO Contingency Fund for Emergencies.
This declaration triggers an international response, including mobilizing resources such as vaccines and diagnostic tests to control the virus. The WHO's intervention aims to stop the disease from escalating into a pandemic. Vaccination efforts are in progress, but challenges persist, particularly in regions where vaccine supplies are limited. Effective surveillance and communication will be crucial in managing the outbreak, preventing further spread.
It's now time for a quick break. We'll be back shortly. Prime Minister Modi raises the need for secular civil code from the ramparts of Red Fort. Mamta blames the BJP and left for vandalism at the RG Kar Medical College, 12 vandals arrested. And now it's time for some stories from the world of business. First up is the Mahindra & Mahindra has reaffirmed its commitment to electric vehicle mobility, emphasizing it as a strategic priority for India's future. Speaking in Kochi, Rajesh Jejurikar, the CEO of Mahindra's automotive sector, stressed that EVs should be the focus of the government support despite recent policy shifts favoring hybrid vehicles. Jejurikar highlighted the crucial role of the EVs in India's long-term transportation strategy and called for continued government backing. Mahindra's stance comes as the company remains dedicated to advancing electrical mobility amid evolving state policies. Additionally, Mahindra launched the Thar ROXX priced competitively against rivals like Maruti Suzuki, Jimny and Force Gurkha. Cisco Systems has announced a 7% reduction in its global workforce, affecting approximately 5,000 employees. The restructuring, expected to cost up to $1 billion, includes severance and other related expenses. Most of these costs, between $700 million and $800 million, will be recorded in the first quarter of Cisco's 2025 fiscal year. Despite the layoffs, Cisco reported $13.6 billion in revenue for the fourth quarter of 2024, exceeding expectations. The company's stock rose by over 5% following the announcement. This follows earlier cuts in February and reflects broader industry trends amidst changing market demands. India's medicine and antibiotic exports are gaining ground in major markets like the US and Italy, according to the Commerce Ministry. In 2023, India became the third largest supplier of the retail medicines to the US, with exports rising to $9 billion and a market share of 13.1%. This growth came as Ireland and Switzerland saw declines. India also boosted its share in the Italian antibiotics market to 2.12%, with exports increasing to $23.34 million. Additionally, India's share of MRI apparatus exports to Germany grew to 1.7%, reflecting improved competitiveness and strategic focus on pharmaceutical and medical device manufacturing. India's textiles and apparel exports surged by 4.73% in July, reaching $2 million, driven by the rising global demand, reports CT. Apparel exports led this growth, increasing by 11.84% in July 2023. Textile exports have remained steady at $1 million. The boost in apparel shipments signals India's growing global market presence, especially in the US, European Union and the UK. This growth positions India to benefit from the upcoming free trade agreements, further enhancing its export potential in the textile sector. US retail sales rose by 1% in July, surpassing expectations and easing concerns about an economic slowdown. This increase follows a revised 0.2% drop in June and exceeds the anticipated 0.3% rise. The unexpected boost in consumer spending suggests strong demand despite inflation and the recent unemployment rate increases. Core retail sales, excluding automobiles and other categories, grew by 0.3%, maintaining resilience in consumer spending. The robust retail data may influence the Federal Reserve's interest rate decisions, with the markets now expecting a more cautious approach rather than a significant rate cut. And it's now time for a quick break. Let's take a look at the updates. Big loss for the nation as the father of Agni missiles, Dr. Ram Narayan Agarwal, passes away. UN to send a fact-finding team next week to Bangladesh to probe the atrocities committed. The Sri Lankan Election Commission has accepted applications from 39 candidates for the upcoming presidential elections. This election is seen as a referendum on the economic reforms introduced by the current president. Listen in.
The Sri Lankan Election Commission has accepted applications from 39 candidates for the upcoming presidential election. This year's election will determine the direction of the country's financial reforms aimed at overcoming an unprecedented economic crisis. Election Commissioner of Sri Lanka RMAL Ratnayake stated that all applications were accepted and over 17 million eligible voters are set to participate in the September elections.
I have stabilized the economy. I have increased production. So they have food to eat. They have fuel to travel around. But it's not over yet. Life can be hard for some people. We have to stabilize the economy. So what we are saying is, let's go ahead and finish this job, and that's why I'm asking for your support.
This election is seen as a referendum on the economic reforms introduced by the current president. Although these reforms have improved key economic indicators, but the final effect is yet to materialize. Sri Lanka is currently undergoing critical debt restructuring and financial reforms under a bailout program from the International Monetary Fund. The economic crisis led to shortages of essentials and sparked riots. This forced the previous president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, to flee the country and eventually resign. Parliament then decided to elect Vikram Singhe to serve out the rest term of Rajapaksa. Vikram Singhe is running for the presidency again, seeking public approval for his economic agenda. Meanwhile, the LOPN presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa stated that they hope to eradicate corruption.
So we hope to eradicate this mess of corruption, and we hope to ensure that we have people's sovereignty prevailing. We are merely temporary custodians. In recent times, leaders of this country have behaved as if they owned our country through a freehold deed. That era will be defeated by people's power.
The Rajapaksa family has been a significant force in Sri Lanka politics since the country gained the independence from Britain in 1948. Mahinda Rajapaksa's role in ending a 26-year-old civil war during his presidency from 2005 to 2015 brought his family to the height of its influence.
Paetongtarn Shinawatra, the daughter of former Thai Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, is poised to become Thailand's new Prime Minister as the kingdom prepares for the elections today. More details on this big political shift in this report.
The Kingdom of Thailand gears itself for the crucial prime ministerial elections today. Leader of Pheu Thai Party, Paetongtarn Shinawatra has been nominated for the prime ministerial role in the kingdom. Her nomination comes after the removal of Srettha Thavisin over an ethical violation.
แน่นอนว่าเรามารวมตัวกันในวันนี้เพื่อให้พี่น้องประชาชนได้เห็นค่ะว่าเรามีความตั้งใจมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็มีความพร้อมเพรียงกันในการที่จะผลักดันประเทศให้ไปต่อการทำงานเนี่ยของเราพรรคร่วมรัฐบาลที่เราจะตั้งร่วมกันมาอีกมาทุกคนมีวิธีการสื่อสารแล้วก็วิธีการทำงานที่น่าจะเป็นที่ยอมรับนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยเรารอเวลากันนิดนึงนะคะเพื่อให้ผลงานตั้งแต่ที่ท่านนายกเศรษฐาทำไว้ได้ออกดอกออกผลนะคะ
If approved, Paetongtarn will become Thailand's second female Prime Minister and third Shinawatra family leader. She acknowledged her father Thaksin's ongoing advice and support in her political journey.
ก็ท่านให้คำแนะนำอยู่แล้วนะคะในหลายเรื่องที่ทำแต่ว่าอันนี้ก็อย่างที่บอกค่ะจริงๆวิธีการสื่อสารกันในครอบครัวเป็นการให้กำลังใจซึ่งกันและกันมากกว่านะคะแล้วก็แน่นอนว่าถ้าต้องการคำปรึกษาท่านก็พร้อมให้เสมอค่ะ
Despite strong coalition backing, Paetongtarn's public approval remains uncertain, with a June poll showing under 5% support. Her election is likely given the coalition's majority, but public acceptance is still in question.
The Kursk incursion has entered its second week, and Ukrainian forces are making significant strides in Russia's Kursk region, while Russia responds with strategic measures and emergency declarations.
The Kursk incursion has entered its second week, with Ukrainian forces now controlling 82 Russian settlements and pushing further into Kursk.
Пане президент України, станом на 15 серпня обстановка на сході та півдні держави залишається складною, але контрольованою. Сили оборони продовжують ведення оборонної операції в східній та південній операційних зонах, завершено пошук та знищення противника в населеному пункті Суджа та 3 інших населених пунктах для підтримання правопорядку, забезпечення першочергових потреб населення на підконтрольних територіях.
Ukraine reports significant advances, capturing more territory and Russian prisoners, including over 100 soldiers, and destroying a bomber at military airfields. Zelensky stated that they will eventually be swapped for Ukrainian prisoners. Ukrainian troops have also destroyed a Russian Su-34 jet, which was used to target Ukrainian positions and cities. General Eduard Moskhalov has been appointed to oversee the situation.
Від 500 метрів до 1,5 кілометрів відбили 3 контратаки противника, продовжують ведення наступальних дій. Всього з початку операції на території Курської області.
Russia has yet to respond to Zelensky's statement but claims to have blocked further Ukrainian advances in several communities. Belgorod has established a coordination committee in regions of Russia.
Создан Координационный совет по вопросам военной безопасности пограничных территорий Белгородской, Брянской и Курской областей. В его состав вошли профильные заместители министра обороны, руководители органов военного управления, представители Генерального штаба, руководители субъектов Российской Федерации.
According to Russia's Emergencies Ministry, residents suffering severe health damage will receive monetary help. Meanwhile, Russia also ensures that security of Belgorod after Russian authorities declared a federal-level state of emergency in the region.
Речь идет прежде всего о повышении эффективности системы управления войсками во взаимодействии с другими силовыми ведомствами и администрацией Белгородской области, об определении ответственных должностных лиц.
As the conflict continues to evolve, the situation remains stagnant with significant developments on both sides.
Yemen is grappling with heavy downpours that have resulted in flooding in several provinces. The heavy rains have damaged residential areas and inundated streets and roads, cutting off people from emergency services. The rains are expected to continue for the next few days, with authorities declaring disaster zones.
Torrential rainfall and floods have killed at least 57 people in Yemen. Several provinces have been impacted due to the prolonged period of heavy rains. Houses have collapsed and people have been displaced.
أنا من بيوت فعلة علينا ونصها يعني طارة من بيوت والله طارة من بيوت ما جلسوش والله ومها عاد وفي عشان ندور لا هبون لا شيء ولا دوروا بعدنا يعني في خيام قديش ما حد دور بعدنا ولا حد يعني سأل لا مية منكوبين.
The Hodeidah province has suffered the most damage where large areas of farmland have been inundated.
بين الأمطار يعني الحالة صعبة إذا كان فوق الأمطار حدود 3 أيام متواصلة ما لقوا قمة عيش ولا بين الأمطار وسيول تعرضوا كوارث أمطار.
Many roads have been cut off, causing problems for people.
السيلي أجا وشال القرية دير الزين كاملا وهذا بيتنا هو المتضرر من السيول أخذ البيت بأكمله.
Authorities have declared disaster zones across the country due to the heavy rains. Heavy downpours are expected to continue for the next few days, and authorities are ramping up efforts to help people.
Amid the rising tensions between Israel and Hezbollah, French Foreign Minister Stéphane Séjourné and US advisor Amos Hochstein have been in the Middle East, seeking to mediate the ongoing conflict. With fears of a broader regional war, here's a report on the latest developments and diplomatic efforts.
Diplomatic tensions have been ramping up as tensions between Israel and Hezbollah escalate. French Foreign Minister Stéphane Séjourné visited Beirut as part of the international mediation effort.
Dans ce moment où nous sommes tous préoccupés de la situation régionale, message très simple également de désescalade, message adressé ici aux autorités libanaises évidemment, qui seront adressés également à certains autres pays dans la région, qui nous permettent de voir dans le futur quelque chose de plus apaisé dans ce moment un peu délicat que nous vivons.
His visit followed US senior advisor Amos Hochstein's trip to Lebanon a day earlier.
Speaker Barry and I also talked about the framework agreement that's on the table for a Gaza ceasefire, and he and I agreed there is no more time to waste, and there's no more valid excuses from any party for any further delay. The deal would also help enable a diplomatic resolution here in Lebanon, and that would prevent an outbreak of a wider war and create the conditions for the displaced Lebanese people to return to their homes in the south and the displaced Israeli residents to return to their homes in their north.
Moreover, diplomats have been working on a new round of talks to halt the Israel-Hamas war and secure hostages' release. With tensions escalating, Hezbollah's retaliatory strikes have intensified, with recent shelling seen from southern Lebanon. Approximately 500 people have been killed in Lebanon, including Hezbollah's members and civilians. Meanwhile, hospitals in Lebanon are preparing for mass casualties and international aid and medical supplies. Israeli strikes have hit deeper into Lebanon, raising fears of a larger regional conflict. And amid the simmering tensions, regional stability hangs in balance as diplomatic efforts face intensifying conflict.
Subsequent to the heinous murder and rape that has happened in RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, the Indian Medical Association has withdrawn services which revolve around modern medicines. That is OPD as well as electrocutive surgeries won't be happening from Saturday 6 a.m. to Sunday 6 a.m. We will be back with the rolling coverage. Stay tuned with Republic TV.
Over a year after Friends' star Matthew Perry was found dead at his Pacific Palisades residence in Los Angeles, the police have booked 5 persons. Autopsy has cited overdose of ketamine behind his untimely death, leading to authorities launching an investigation as to how the actor obtained the product.
5 people have been charged in connection with the accidental overdose death of actor Matthew Perry, including his assistant and 2 doctors.
Following Mr. Perry's death in October of last year, law enforcement, my office, and our partners represented on this stage began an in-depth, wide-ranging investigation. That investigation has revealed a broad, underground criminal network responsible for distributing large quantities of ketamine to Mr. Perry and others. This network included a live-in assistant, various go-betweens, 2 medical doctors, and a major source of drug supply known as, quote, the ketamine queen. We charged 5 defendants in this matter. These defendants took advantage of Mr. Perry's addiction issues to enrich themselves. They knew what they were doing was wrong. They knew what they were doing was risking great danger to Mr. Perry, but they did it anyways.
The Hollywood star was found dead at his Los Angeles home on the 28th of October last year. Medical authorities had found traces of ketamine in his body. Ketamine is an anesthetic with psychedelic properties and is used to treat depression and anxiety.
In this case, we are not talking about legitimate ketamine treatment. We're talking about 2 doctors who abused the trust they had, abused their licenses to put another person's life at risk. 5 defendants who, as I mentioned, knew what they were doing was wrong. In fact, one of them has sold ketamine that resulted in the death of another person in 2019. Nothing about what we see today was legitimate, and that's why we filed criminal charges.
Perry, who rose to stardom playing Chandler Bing in the popular Friends series, was receiving ketamine-assisted psychotherapy sessions to treat anxiety. The actor opened up about his struggles with drug addiction and alcoholism in his 2022 book, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing.
So here it was, fame, just as we predicted. Friends was huge, and I couldn't jeopardize that as I loved my co-actors, I loved the scripts, I loved everything about the show. But I was also struggling with my addictions, which only added to my sense of shame. I had a secret and no one could know.
According to reports, however, at the time of his death, he had been clean for over 19 months. So what led to his death?
Over 2 months, from September to October 2023, they distributed approximately 20 vials of ketamine to Mr. Perry in exchange for $55,000 in cash. Defendant Placentia saw this as an opportunity to profit off of Mr. Perry. He wrote in a text message in September 2023, quote, "I wonder how much this moron will pay." He also stated in text messages that he wanted to be Mr. Perry's sole source of supply. He wrote in a text message that he wanted to be Mr. Perry's, quote, "go-to for drugs."
An investigation was opened by the police to find out how the actor obtained ketamine that caused his death.
They supplied Matthew Perry with large amounts of ketamine in exchange for large sums of money, charging Perry $2,000 for a vial that cost Dr. Chavez approximately $12.
Perry was among the biggest television stars of his generation. He captivated the audiences worldwide with Friends, alongside an ensemble cast of Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow, and David Schwimmer.
More updates with Samiksha from Republic TV, who brings you all the latest updates at 8 a.m.
Subsequent to the heinous murder and rape that has happened in RG Kar Medical College and Hospital in Kolkata, the Indian Medical Association has withdrawn services which revolve around modern medicines. That is OPD as well as electrocutive surgeries won't be happening from Saturday 6 a.m. to Sunday 6 a.m. We will be back with the rolling coverage. Stay tuned with Republic TV.
जय विज्ञान जोड़कर राजनीतिक श्रेष्ठता का अप्रतिम उदाहरण दिया था श्रद्धेय अटल जी ने। ये भावना उनकी दूरदर्शिता का ही तो उदाहरण है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने उसके आगे जय अनुसंधान भी जोड़ दिया। देख रही है दुनिया तुम में उजियाले विश्वास को, एक एक दिन दिव्य बनाकर तोहफा दो इतिहास को। नई रोशनी की तहरीरें लिख डालो आकाश में, उठो बांध लो सारा सूरज अपने बाहुपाश में, उठो बांध लो सारा सूरज अपने बाहुपाश में। माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय श्री जगदीप धनखड़ जी का भी आगमन हो चुका है प्रार्थना सभा में। एक अपराजेय वक्ता, एक संवेदनशील कवि और एक विचारवान लेखक के साथ साथ अटल जी बहुत ही अच्छे इंसान भी थे। इंसानियत के थर्मामीटर की सर्वोच्च डिग्री तक उनके हृदय का पारा पहुंचता था। वे जन जन से प्रेम करने वाले जननायक थे। अटल जी का व्यक्तित्व पूनम की चांदनी जैसा मन भावन था। आकाश के सप्तर्षि मंडल को तो आप सभी देखते ही होंगे। वह ध्रुव नक्षत्र की परिक्रमा किया करता है। श्रद्धेय अटल जी भारतीय राजनीति गगन के ध्रुव नक्षत्र बन गए हैं। हम अपना मत देखते ही होंगे। वह ध्रुव नक्षत्र की परिक्रमा किया करता है। श्रद्धेय अटल जी भारतीय राजनीति गगन के ध्रुव नक्षत्र बन गए हैं। हम अपना मस्तक आत्मगौरव के साथ तनिक ऊंचा उठाकर देखें। विश्व के गगन मंडल पर हमारी कलित कीर्ति के असंख्य दीपक जल रहे हैं। भावी की अनगिनत घड़ियां हमारी विजय माला की लड़ियां बनने की प्रतीक्षा में मौन खड़ी है। विचारों के अनमोल मोती और किसी के हो ही नहीं सकते श्रद्धेय अटल जी के। वे मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम श्री राम की संकल्प शक्ति, भगवान श्री कृष्ण की राजनीतिक कुशलता और आचार्य चाणक्य की दृढ़ निश्चयी बुद्धि के प्रतीक थे। माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया यहाँ पर पधार चुकी हैं प्रार्थना सभा में सम्मिलित होने के लिए। श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू जी, माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया, अटल जी ने विश्व की ताकतवर शक्तियों के विरोध के बावजूद तिलेरी से पोखरण में परमाणु बम का सफल परीक्षण कराया। पोखरण ने एक बार फिर सारी दुनिया को झकझोर दिया था। उन्होंने कहा था कि पोखरण में केवल अणु ऊर्जा का ही नहीं, राष्ट्र की ऊर्जा का भी प्रकटीकरण हुआ है। विश्व गगन पर अगणित गौरव के दीपक अब भी जलते हैं। माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया, माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी अब पुष्पांजलि अर्पित करेंगे। सामने के दर्शक दीर्घा से निवेदन है, कृपया भजनों के उपरांत माननीयों के प्रस्थान करने के बाद ही पुष्पांजलि अर्पित करने के लिए आगे आए। माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया। विश्व गगन पर अगणित गौरव के दीपक अब भी जलते हैं। कोटि कोटि नयनों में स्वर्णिम युग के शत सपने पलते हैं। शत शत आघातों को सहकर जीवित हिंदुस्तान हमारा, जग के मस्तक पर रोली सा शोभित हिंदुस्तान हमारा। माननीय राष्ट्रपति महोदया के द्वारा पुष्पांजलि अर्पित की गई श्रद्धेय अटल जी को। डॉक्टर शिवमंगल सिंह सुमन जी की कविता बोलते हुए श्रद्धेय अटल जी ने कहा था, क्या हार में क्या जीत में किंचित नहीं भयभीत में, कर्तव्य पथ पर जो मिले यह भी सही वह भी सही। अब माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय पुष्पांजलि अर्पित करेंगे श्रद्धेय अटल जी को। स्वयं श्री शिवमंगल सिंह सुमन ने अटल जी के बारे में कहा था कि ऐसा संवेदनशील कवि जो संघर्षशील योद्धा भी है, चुनौतियां भी देता है और विद्रोह भी करता है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी द्वारा पुष्पांजलि अर्पित की जा रही है श्रद्धेय अटल जी को। आज अटल जी हम सबको बहुत याद आ रही हैं। हमेशा से वो हमारे पथ प्रदर्शक रहे हैं। माननीय रक्षा मंत्री जी श्री राजनाथ सिंह जी, लोकसभा अध्यक्ष श्री ओम बिरला जी, माननीय लोकसभा अध्यक्ष जी ने पुष्पांजलि अर्पित की और अब राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष माननीय श्री जेपी नड्डा जी, और अब उपसभापति हरिवंश राय जी, अटल जी के परिवार के सदस्यगण, रिस्पेक्टेड नमिता जी, रिस्पेक्टेड श्री रंजन भट्टाचार्य जी, और सभी गणमान्य एनडीए के माननीय सदस्यगण, आज हमारे बीच में प्रार्थना सभा में संगीत में श्रद्धांजलि देने के लिए उपस्थित हैं पवनदीप जी। पवनदीप जी टीवी का जाना माना पहचाना नाम, चेहरा और आवाज़ हैं। युवाओं में संगीत की बड़ी लोकप्रिय लहर हैं आप टीवी रियलिटी शोज़ के विजेता हैं। आपकी खासियत है कि आप लिखते भी हैं, गाते भी हैं और कई वाद्य यंत्र बजाते भी हैं। आपने कई एल्बम्स भी बनाए हैं। आप मूलतः उत्तराखंड से हैं। तो आइए सुनते हैं आपके सुर में श्रद्धेय अटल जी को एक संगीतमय श्रद्धांजलि। टीवी का जाना माना नाम, चेहरा, आवाज़, पवनदीप जी।
निर्गुण न्यारे तुम दे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं। हमरी उलझन सुलझाओ भगवन, तुम रे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं। ओ पालनहारे निर्गुण न्यारे तुम रे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं। हमरी उलझन लगन है मगन तुम्हें तो दिए हो ये सितारे भगवन ये जीवन तुम ही न सवारोगे तो क्या कोई सवारे ओ पालनहारे निर्गुण न्यारे तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं हमरी उलझन सुलझाओ भगवन तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं तुम ही हमका हो संभाले तुम ही हमरे रखवाले तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं ओ पालनहारे निर्गुण न्यारे ओ पालनहारे निर्गुण न्यारे तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं
All right, so tributes pouring in for late Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee on his 5th death anniversary. The visuals coming in from the Sadaiv Atal, where tributes have been pouring in, with Prime Minister, President Draupadi Murmu and all top leaders paying tributes to the late Prime Minister. And for now, let's shift focus to the latest that's coming in on the RG Kar horror. In fact, as we understand that even as thousands stormed the hotel, the hospital, ransacked the hospital, only 9 arrests have been made by the Kolkata police. So while visuals that surfaced which showed how the mob ransacked the hospital, destroyed that very that very seminar room where the rape and murder of the 31-year-old trainee doctor took place. It seems that the arrests that have been made by the Kolkata police is merely an eyewash. Only 19 arrests that have been made by the Kolkata police so far. We'll try and go across to Kishle as well to get us the latest as far as the CBI probe into the rape and murder of 31-year-old trainee doctor is concerned. But note that 19 people have been arrested by the Kolkata police for ransacking the RG Kar hospital day before yesterday. And let's put out more news break coming in. This is also in connection with the RG Kar horror. BJP is to hold a candlelight protest march to Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee's residence. In fact, this is the BJP Mahila Morcha that will be holding a pan-India protest. A protest that will also take place in Kolkata. The protest march that will be led by the Mahila Morcha, the BJP Mahila Morcha, this afternoon post 2 p.m. Let's go across to Jatin. He's joining us with more details on that. Jatin, these are protest and counter protests that will take place today, one being of the BJP and the second that will be staged by Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee herself.
जी बिल्कुल, देखिए आज बीजेपी प्रोटेस्ट करने वाली है और कैंडल लाइट जो मार्च है वो निकाला जाएगा ममता बनर्जी के घर के बाहर। लेकिन ममता बनर्जी भी जिस हॉस्पिटल में ये पूरा इंसिडेंट हुआ कोलकाता में आरजीकर हॉस्पिटल, उससे महज 1.5 किलोमीटर दूर वो भी एक पैदल मार्च जो है वो निकालने वाली है, जिसका समय दोपहर को 3 बजे के आसपास बताया गया है। तो पॉलिटिक्स इस पूरे मुद्दे को लेकर बहुत जोरों से कोलकाता में चल रही है और इसका असर दिल्ली और देश के दूसरे अस्पतालों पर भी पड़ रहा है, क्योंकि डॉक्टर्स की जो स्ट्राइक है वो लगातार जारी है। और अब जिस तरीके से जानकारी मिल रही है कि 17 तारीख को पूरे देश की ओपीडी बंद रहेगी 24 घंटे के लिए, यानी कि रविवार सुबह तक के लिए। लेकिन दूसरी तरफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, चाहे वो कोलकाता पुलिस की कह लीजिए या सीबीआई की कह लीजिए, वो भी पैरेलल लेवल पे चल रही है। जो हिंसा हुई 14 तारीख की रात को अस्पताल के अंदर, क्योंकि डॉक्टरों में इस बात को लेकर बहुत गुस्सा है कि सिक्योरिटी कैसे इंश्योर की जाएगी। जो महिला डॉक्टर नर्सेज रात में नाइट शिफ्ट में अस्पतालों में काम करती है, लोगों की सेवा करती है, उनकी सिक्योरिटी किस तरीके से सुनिश्चित की जाएगी। लेकिन 14 तारीख को जो हिंसा हुई उस मामले में कोलकाता पुलिस अभी तक 19 लोगों को अरेस्ट कर चुकी है। तो वही सीबीआई इन्वेस्टिगेशन की बात करें, जो कि जो ट्रेनी डॉक्टर की एक तरीके से पहले रेप किया गया और उसके बाद हत्या कर दी गई, इस मामले में आरजीकर हॉस्पिटल की जो प्रिंसिपल है उनके स्टेटमेंट कल रजिस्टर किए गए हैं, जो सबसे बड़ा डेवलपमेंट इस केस का है। दरअसल सीबीआई जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन कर रही है उसको ग्राउंड पर वेरीफाई कर रही है। कल विक्टिम फैमिली के भी स्टेटमेंट को दर्ज किया गया, लेकिन न्यूली अपॉइंटेड जो प्रिंसिपल है उनके स्टेटमेंट को दर्ज करने के पीछे सीबीआई की मंशा ये भी थी ताकि पूरे प्रोसेस को जाना जा सके, क्योंकि कई सारी थ्योरी सामने आ रही है। मुख्य आरोपी संजय रॉय का जब आप जिक्र करते हैं तो उसको लेकर कई थ्योरी है, अलग अलग बातें कोलकाता पुलिस की इन्वेस्टिगेशन में सामने आई। और जो केस डायरी सीबीआई के पास मौजूद है, उस केस डायरी को भी बहुत ब्रीफली एग्जामिन सीबीआई कर रही है और यही कारण है कि हर पहलू को ग्राउंड पर वेरीफाई किया जा रहा है। और आपको बता दें कि अभी तक 15 से भी ज्यादा जो उस हॉस्पिटल के, चाहे वो एचओडीज हो, रेजिडेंट डॉक्टर्स, उन सभी के स्टेटमेंट सीबीआई दर्ज कर चुकी है। ये भी जानकारी मिल रही है सोर्सेज से कि आज सीबीआई दोबारा आरजीकर हॉस्पिटल पहुंचेगी, उसी सेमिनार हॉल में जाएगी, क्योंकि कल जो लीड्स मिली हैं उसको ग्राउंड पर वेरीफाई करना बाकी है। कुछ सीसीटीवी फुटेज भी जो लोकल पुलिस ने सीबीआई को दिए हैं उसको भी एग्जामिन करना है, जिसमें इंसिडेंट वाली रात का, यानी कि 4:37 का जो फुटेज है और 4:35 का जो फुटेज है, उन दोनों को एक तरीके से एनालाइज करना है, दोनों को ही पैरामीटर्स पर चेक करना है। एफएसएल की टीम यहाँ पर मौजूद है, एम्स की टीम यहाँ पर मौजूद है। जिस डॉक्टर ने विक्टिम का, यानी कि मृतिका का एक तरीके से पोस्टमार्टम किया था, उसके भी स्टेटमेंट को दर्ज किया जा रहा है। तो आज बड़ा डेवलपमेंट कोलकाता भी इस लिहाज से भी है कि एक तरफ अलग अलग प्रोटेस्ट हमें देखने को मिलेंगे, स्टूडेंट्स और डॉक्टर्स लगातार प्रोटेस्ट कर रहे हैं। दूसरी तरफ बीजेपी ममता बनर्जी के घर का घेराव करेगी, कैंडल मार्च का आह्वान किया गया है। ममता बनर्जी खुद सड़कों पर उतरेंगी, पैदल चलती हुई आपको नजर आएगी। वो भी एक
Jatin, we will have to leave it at that. We will keep coming back to you, but Jatin, they're giving us important details. The CBI team will be visiting the crime location today as well. For now, let's also go across to Gopi. She's joining us from the national capital. Gopi, the Indian Medical Association has announced that they will be staging a 24-hour protest starting tomorrow. Take us to the details of this. Which are the OPD services which are to be affected as a result of this strike?
Well, in fact, Samiksha, what had happened yesterday was the Resident Doctors Association of 7 different hospitals had met to the IMA, while the IMA has decided to withdraw the services, electric surgery services as well as OPD across India. So this is in fact going to hamper a lot of medical services across India and not just Delhi. While what is happening in Delhi today is over 7 hospitals and the RDAs of 7 hospitals are going to begin their protest from 9 a.m. today till 11 a.m. they'll be protesting in their particular medical colleges and hospitals, while later on they are going to move towards Nirman Bhavan, where they are going to they are going to again do a sit-in protest there for demanding for the Central Protection Act. While after the Nirman Bhavan protest, they are going to head towards the India Gate for a silent candle march, which is going to happen at around 6 p.m. today in the evening. So yes, as you have correctly mentioned, the withdrawal of services of basically the OPD as well as elective surgeries is going to impact fact on a larger scale, and this is happening across India. It is not just happening in Delhi, but yes, 7 hospitals would be protesting from 9 a.m. today. Back to you.
Yes, Gopi, stay with us. In fact, let's also tell our viewers the statements that came in from Mamata Banerjee just yesterday. She claimed that there was involvement of the BJP in the protest which happened at the RG Kar hospital. Any basis to that statement which Mamata Banerjee has made, claiming that there is a possible involvement of the BJP and the left in the protests at the hospital?
Well, in fact, we have seen the political blame game happening since day one, Samiksha, and we have seen how Mamata Banerjee government had in fact called this as a suicide and not a murder and rape. Later on, even after the autopsy report was out, the postmortem report was out, it was in fact understood from that report that it was not one man who was involved, and rather it was a gang rape. So we have been seeing the manipulation of evidences, while we have also seen how the evidences were tempered and how construction and paint work was happening right beside the place where this particular incident had happened. So we've seen what kind of the government has been doing since past many days since the incident has happened, and blaming it on the other party, other political party is in fact baseless. There are no evidences found as yet. Back to you.
Yes, Gopi, thank you for the moment. So let's also tell our viewers that while there is a strong indication, a possibility of tampering of evidence at RG Kar hospital, Mamata Banerjee says that left and BJP are to be blamed for the protest which happened at the hospital day before yesterday. On that note, let's also play out that statement that's now coming from spiritual guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, who's called for justice for Abhaya, for whom protests have been happening for more than 5 days now.
Very unpleasant incidents have occurred in recent days that shows the amount of frustration and lack of morality, ethics in the society. But at the same time, you see, Navratra is going to come and women are going to be there. People are dancing and they are partying. All that is happening. But there are pockets in this country which still are not very safe. Unfortunately, they have to be dealt with an iron fist very strongly, and one should condemn any such atrocity on women or children, on elderly people. It's something that's very serious, and we have to take it up, because we can't allow the culture of the society to go into this wrong path, the culture of the society to diminish, and a culture of violence to take over what has not been part of India for millenniums. A lot of awareness need to be created and a lot of work need to be done also. And you can't imagine in India when doctors are peacefully demonstrating, they are there to save the lives of the people, and they have been attacked. And these attackers some other time will have to go to hospital. Just they should imagine who would treat them. This shows such a lack of awareness, and some of these politicians, they would give a few 100 rupees, a few thousand rupees. For money's sake, they are ready to do anything. For no reason, why would a mob would enter a place unless they have been tutored and given some money? Can't understand. There is no injustice done to anybody, and a mob comes and attacks the doctors in a hospital. That shows that too in a province which is known for its spirituality, a province where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come, a place where Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was there, place of devotion and philosophy. Aurobindo has come from there. All the great philosophers have been there. From that place, a whole mob behaving in such a way indicates The spirituality has not been inculcated in their, neither in the education nor in their family life. I mean, someone sensible can never do such thing. But to go and attack a hospital, you don't know how many patients were there. This is unheard of a mob doing. Okay, something happened to somebody's, people get, emotionally upset. Here, a doctor has been raped and killed. That's totally unacceptable. And people supporting such Asuri-minded people, Asuri-minded individuals is not India. It doesn't show, it's not the culture of this country. Not at all. Let me tell the medical community in this whole country and in the world that we are with you.
All right, so there you heard spiritual guru Sri Sri Ravi Shankar expressing pain and anguish over the death, over the rape and murder of 31-year-old trainee doctor. In fact, let's take a look at this report, which has details, gory details of the post-mortem report of the doctor who was raped and hospital inside the hospital.
A day after an angry mob barged into RG Kar Hospital and vandalized it. 12 people have been detained over this hooliganism. While the CBI team is investigating the rape and murder of the trainee doctor, the newly appointed principal of the hospital, Dr. Sureta Paul, was garroted by the nurses. She said that she too is seeking justice for the 31-year-old. A political slugfest has started on this, with West Bengal CM Mamata Banerjee alleging BJP's hands behind the hooliganism at the RG Kar hospital.
আমার কাছে 3টে ভিডিও আছে, আমি দেখেছি। কালকে পুলিশকে যেভাবে আক্রমণ করা হয়েছে, আমাদের একজন ডিসি যিনি নিরাপত্তার জন্য ওখানে ছিলেন, আমার দুজন ওসিও ছিলেন, 1 ঘন্টা তাকে খুঁজে পাওয়া যায়নি। আনকনশাস অবস্থায় তাকে উদ্ধার করা হয়। তখন তার মাথা ফেটে চুরচুর করে রক্ত পড়ছে। তাকে আমি সঙ্গে সঙ্গে রাত 3টে আমি পুলিশকে বলি ওকে অ্যাপেলেতে নিয়ে যাওয়ার জন্য।
Union Minister Chirag Paswan condemned the incident, calling it shameful.
एक तो ऐसी शर्मनाक निंदनीय घटना वहाँ पर घटी, उसके बाद जिस तरीके से वहाँ पर आज की तारीख में एक आगजनी जैसा माहौल बनाया जा रहा है, और मुझे नहीं पता कि इसके पीछे कौन है। कल जिस तरीके से घटना स्थल पर देर रात हज़ारों की संख्या में असामाजिक तत्व गए, उन्होंने तोड़फोड़ की, क्या ये किसी साजिश के तहत था? किसी एविडेंस को मिटाने के लिए था? किसी को बचाने के लिए था? किसी को फंसाने के लिए था?
While BJP spokesperson Shehzad Poonawalla has called out the West Bengal CM for shielding culprits.
ममता बनर्जी जी, आपको हो क्या गया है? इस्तीफा देने के बदले, अपनी नैतिक जिम्मेदारी उठाने के बदले आप जिस प्रकार से हेल्थ मिनिस्टर और होम मिनिस्टर के रूप में फेल हुई है, कल रात को जिस प्रकार से डॉक्टर्स की, महिलाओं की पिटाई हुई है, एक शांतिपूर्वक प्रदर्शन पर हमला हुआ है, आरजी कर मेडिकल हॉस्पिटल जहां पर यह बलात्कार हुआ, जहां पर यह जघन्य अपराध हुआ, जहां पर मर्डर हुआ, वहां पर घुसकर आपके राज्य प्रायोजित गुंडों ने तोड़फोड़ की है, उसके लिए जिम्मेदारी उठाने के बदले अब आप बाम और राम, प्रभु श्री राम के नाम को घसीट रही।
Protests are taking place across the nation. Governor Ananda Bose met with the protesting doctors and assured them of justice.
Come here to listen to you personally. I am with you. We'll fight it out. We will win. We shall overcome. We will not allow these ghastly things to be done about our sisters anymore in the state. We are all with you. Our eyes and ears are open. We will fight it out everywhere to see that justice is given to the youngsters.
Doctors' bodies have announced nationwide withdrawal of OPD services on Saturday and Sunday. The chorus for justice grows louder. Will Abhaya get justice?
And we head into a very short break for now, but our top focus remains the Bengal rape and horror protest and counter-protest to take place by the BJP and the TMC today. This while Mamata Banerjee now alleges the involvement of the left and the BJP behind the rampage at the RG Kar hospital. And we'll head into a very short break, but when we come back, we will get you all the action that we're tracking from across the country and the globe. Father of Agni missiles, no more. That's an unfortunate news that came in late last night. United Nations team to visit Bangladesh next week amid the atrocities against the Hindus. And we begin with Newsbreak that's coming in. The Election Commission of India all set to announce poll dates for the legislative assemblies of J&K, Haryana and Maharashtra today. An important briefing by the Election Commission at 3 p.m. today. So poll dates to be announced for Haryana, Maharashtra, J&K by the Election Commission of India. Note that the top court has already made it clear that elections in J&K should be held before September. So awaiting the dates to be announced by the Election Commission today for the states Maharashtra, Haryana and ECI to also announce dates, election date for J&K. So hectic political action that is set to begin in just days from now on key strategies to be implemented and to be worked upon by the parties, with ECI announcement to take place today itself. So the Election Commission of India set to announce poll dates. Let's go across to Abhishek Kapoor joining us. Abhishek, a very important briefing by the ECI this afternoon. Anything you're learning from your sources as to what are the dates, the months when we can expect elections in Haryana and Maharashtra?
Well, let me clarify, Samiksha, that it's likely that the Election Commission, when it holds that press conference at 3 p.m. today, is going to announce elections to the Union Assembly of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir and also Haryana. There is no clarity as yet whether dates would be announced for Maharashtra. Definitely not for Jharkhand. The reason why I say so is that the Election Commission is yet to make a visit to Maharashtra. Jharkhand Assembly anyway has a little longish lifespan left till about January. So assembly elections to Jharkhand can be held later. But given the fact that the Election Commission has already visited both Haryana and Jammu and Kashmir, it's sure that the elections to these two units, as in the state of Haryana and the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, would be announced. In the case of Jammu and Kashmir, this would be an election being held after 2015 for the first time, and 2014 for the first time, so effectively almost like a decade. But of course, we have to remember the hiatus of the abrogation of Article 370 in 2019, because of which this delay was set in. And it's going to be a multi-phase election. Remember, there is a Supreme Court deadline also of holding elections in Jammu and Kashmir by September 30th. So it would be interesting to see whether the Election Commission would be able to hold those multi-phase elections that are needed, typically between 3 to 5 phases, sometimes 6 phases. Earlier it used to be even 7 phases, but then remember it was the state of Jammu and Kashmir, which included the territory of Ladakh. Now it's a separate union territory, so possibly lesser number of phases in Jammu and Kashmir elections to be announced today, and that's going to be a big move on democracy going forward. Remember, just yesterday we had reports of the administration of the Union Territory. They are restoring Press Club, for example, making a big move towards press freedom in Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So I think the state and the territory, Union Territory administration and the centre in tandem on many fronts, and the Election Commission now which had visited Srinagar and Jammu both about 10 days back, and also, of course, Haryana. So in that case, Haryana, of course, one of the smaller states of the country, and with 90 assembly seats, is going to polls in a single phase elections, for which are going to be announced today at 3 p.m. by the Election Commission. As I mentioned, underscoring again, not for Maharashtra. There is some doubt about it because the Election Commission is yet to visit, and of course, Jharkhand can still wait. So it's likely that the announcement for polling dates for Maharashtra and Jharkhand would happen later.
All right, Abhishek, thank you for those details. Now, in the backdrop of atrocities being inflicted on Hindus in Bangladesh and unrest that still prevails following the toppling of Sheikh Hasina government, United Nations panel is all set to visit Bangladesh in wake of the crimes against women and human rights violations as a whole in the country. So the visit that is expected next week. This visit note follows a recent meeting with Nobel laureate Muhammad Yunus, bringing international attention to the alarming situation in the country. The UN's focus on Bangladesh highlights the need for urgent action and accountability to address these serious issues, the challenges in Bangladesh at present. Let's now move on to news that we are tracking from Sri Lanka. The Election Commission in the country has accepted applications from 39 candidates for the upcoming presidential elections in the country. In fact, this election is seen as a referendum on the economic reforms that have been introduced by the current regime.
The Sri Lankan Election Commission has accepted applications from 39 candidates for the upcoming presidential election. This year's election will determine the direction of the country's financial reforms aimed at overcoming an unprecedented economic crisis. Election Commissioner of Sri Lanka RMAL Ratnayake stated that all applications were accepted and over 17 million eligible voters are set to participate in the September elections.
I have stabilized the economy. I have increased production. So they have food to eat. They have fuel to travel around. But it's not over yet. Life can be hard for some people. We have to stabilize the economy. So what we are saying is, let's go ahead and finish this job, and that's why I'm asking for your support.
This election is seen as a referendum on the economic reforms introduced by the current president. Although these reforms have improved key economic indicators, but the final effect is yet to materialize. Sri Lanka is currently undergoing critical debt restructuring and financial reforms under a bailout program from the International Monetary Fund. The economic crisis led to shortages of essentials and sparked riots. This forced the previous president, Gotabaya Rajapaksa, to flee the country and eventually resign. Parliament then decided to elect Wickremesinghe to serve out the rest term of Rajapaksa. Wickremesinghe is running for the presidency again, seeking public approval for his economic agenda. Meanwhile, the LOPN presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa stated that they hope to eradicate corruption.
So we hope to eradicate this mess of corruption, and we hope to ensure that we have people's sovereignty prevailing. We are merely temporary custodians. In recent times, leaders of this country have behaved as if they owned our country through a freehold deed. That era will be defeated by people's power.
The Rajapaksa family has been a significant force in Sri Lanka politics since the country gained the independence from Britain in 1948. Mahinda Rajapaksa's role in ending a 26-year-old civil war during his presidency from 2005 to 2015 brought his family to the height of its influence.
And And in news that we are tracking from Thailand, a daughter of former Thailand Prime Minister is poised to become the country's new Prime Minister as the kingdom prepares for elections today. It is Pong Paetongtarn who's said to be the next Prime Minister of Thailand.
The Kingdom of Thailand gears itself for the crucial prime ministerial elections today. Leader of Pheu Thai Party, Paetongtarn Shinawatra has been nominated for the prime ministerial role in the kingdom. Her nomination comes after the removal of Srettha Thavisin over an ethical violation.
แน่นอนว่าเรามารวมตัวกันในวันนี้เพื่อให้พี่น้องประชาชนได้เห็นค่ะว่าเรามีความตั้งใจมีความมุ่งมั่นแล้วก็มีความพร้อมเพรียงกันในการที่จะผลักดันประเทศให้ไปต่อการทำงานเนี่ยของเราพรรคร่วมรัฐบาลที่เราจัดตั้งร่วมกันมาอีกมาทุกคนมีวิธีการสื่อสารแล้วก็วิธีการทำงานที่น่าจะเป็นที่ยอมรับนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นเนี่ยเรารอเวลากันนิดนึงนะคะเพื่อให้ผลงานตั้งแต่ที่ท่านนายกเศรษฐาทำไว้ได้ออกดอกออกผลนะคะ
If approved, Paetongtarn will become Thailand's second female prime minister and third Shinawatra family leader. She acknowledged her father Thaksin's ongoing advice and support in her political journey.
ก็ท่านให้คำแนะนำอยู่แล้วนะคะในหลายเรื่องที่ทำแต่ว่าอันนี้ก็อย่างที่บอกค่ะจริงๆวิธีการสื่อสารกันในครอบครัวเป็นการให้กำลังใจซึ่งกันและกันมากกว่านะคะแล้วก็แน่นอนว่าถ้าต้องการคำปรึกษาท่านก็พร้อมให้เสมอค่ะ
Despite strong coalition backing, Paetongtarn's public approval remains uncertain, with a June poll showing under 5% support. Her election is likely given the coalition's majority, but public acceptance is still in question.
And tracking the latest on the Russia-Ukraine war that rages on for over 2 years now, the Kursk incursion, which has entered its second week, significant strides have been made by the Ukrainian forces in this particular region, while Russia has responded with strategic measures and emergency declarations in the country.
The Kursk incursion has entered its second week, with Ukrainian forces now controlling 82 Russian settlements and pushing further into Kursk.
Пане президент України, станом на 15 серпня обстановка на сході та півдні держави залишається складною, але контрольованою. Сили оборони продовжують ведення оборонної операції в східній та південній операційних зонах, завершено пошук та знищення противника в населеному пункті Суджа та 3 інших населених пунктах. Для підтримання правопорядку, забезпечення першочергових потреб населення на підконтрольних територіях.
Ukraine reports significant advances, capturing more territory and Russian prisoners, including over 100 soldiers, and destroying a bomber at military airfields. Zelensky stated that they will eventually be swapped for Ukrainian prisoners. Ukrainian troops have also destroyed a Russian Su-34 jet, which was used to target Ukrainian positions and cities. General Eduard Moskhalov has been appointed to oversee the situation.
Від 500 метрів до 1,5 кілометрів відбили 3 контратаки противника, продовжують ведення наступальних дій. Цього з початку операції на території Курської області.
Russia has yet to respond to Zelensky's statement but claims to have blocked further Ukrainian advances in several communities. Belgorod has established a coordination committee in regions of Russia.
Создан Координационный совет по вопросам военной безопасности пограничных территорий Белгородской, Брянской и Курской областей. В его состав вошли профильные заместители министра обороны, руководители органов военного управления, представители Генерального штаба, руководители субъектов Российской Федерации.
According to Russia's emergencies ministry, residents suffering severe health damage will receive monetary help. Meanwhile, Russia also ensures that security of Belgorod after Russian authorities declared a federal-level state of emergency in the region.
Речь идет прежде всего о повышении эффективности системы управления войсками во взаимодействии с другими силовыми ведомствами и администрацией Белгородской области, об определении ответственных должностных лиц.
As the conflict continues to evolve, the situation remains stagnant with significant developments on both sides.
of the first stage.
Control to note, event 138 completed.
प्रथम चरण का यह इग्नाइटर है जो प्रज्वलित करेगा प्रथम चरण के सॉलिड बूस्टर को। बहुत ही सावधानी पूर्वक सुरक्षा पूर्वक यह कार्य संपन्न किया जाता है। यह है द्वितीय चरण, SS2 के नाम से जाना जाता है। यह
The SS2 along with the interstages being brought after assembly to the first launch pad and being hoisted for integration with the assembled first stage.
द्वितीय चरण को भी प्रथम चरण के ऊपर लाकर समायोजित कर दिया जाता है। और यह आप देख रहे हैं तृतीय चरण, यह भी ठोस नोदक पर आधारित तृतीय चरण है जो लगभग 4.5 टन का ठोस नोदक अपने साथ लिए हुए है।
After the third stage assembly which you have just watched, here are the visuals from the spacecraft preparation facility where EOS-08 is getting prepared. The prepared satellite will be placed on VTM and then the payload fairing will be closed in the satellite preparation facility.